Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Hello to our English podcast channel listeners. Today we're jumping into something that feels really important right now, especially with how connected and, frankly, noisy everything is. We're going to explore the surprising power of silence and, the strength you find when you actually focus on yourself. In a world that always seems to demand explanations, proof, we're looking at the value of just being quiet sometimes.
It's true. And the sources we looked at really bring this home. It's not just about taking a break from noise, is it? It's more like a fundamental shift, like how we deal with others and maybe more importantly, how we deal with ourselves. Understanding silence not as, nothingness, but as a presence, something that can really change your perspective.
Absolutely. So our mission, let's say, for this deep dive is to really unpack the practical ways silence can be like your secret weapon, your superpower.
Yeah.
We want to show you how it brings clarity, how it protects your energy, which is so precious, and how it builds this really solid, deep confidence that doesn't need everyone else's okay.
Get ready for maybe a few aha moments. We think you'll see why sometimes the quietest move is actually the loudest. Okay, let's unpack this. So the first big idea we came across tackles that feeling, and I think we all know it, that people are constantly watching us, judging us. Does it ever feel like that spotlight is just permanently fixed on you, like you always have to perform?
Oh, definitely. And what's fascinating here is, psychologically speaking, that feeling is often just something we create in our own heads, a mental construct, We sort of live like we're on a stage, always performing, thinking about the audience. But in reality, most people are, pretty wrapped up in their own thoughts, their own problems. Exactly. It's like you wake up and your first thought isn't, okay, what do I need today? It's, oh, God, what will they think if I wear this? Or what if I try this and fail? What will they say? Imagine this invisible jury constantly rating you. It's exhausting, isn't it? All that energy spent on what others might think.
Yeah, and I remember reading this great example about going to the gym. You walk in, maybe feeling a bit self-conscious, thinking everyone's looking at your form or what you're wearing.
That initial awkwardness.
Right. But then after a few minutes, you look around and it hits you. Nobody really cared, like, at all. Everyone's just focused on their own workout, their own music, their own goals. That spotlight, totally imagined. That's such a perfect illustration. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, well, when you stop feeling the need to explain everything, to justify yourself, to perform for that imaginary audience, something shifts. The spotlight just kind of moves away. Because, the stage was only ever in your mind. So silence, in this sense, it frees you from that constant performance pressure, lets you actually start living instead of just acting.
That's a great way to put it. So silence doesn't make you invisible, does it? It actually makes you free to hear your own voice again, maybe for the first time in a while, without all that external noise.
Exactly. It's reclaiming yourself.
Okay, but here's something I struggle with, and maybe you do too. Sometimes silence feels, uncomfortable,
Yeah.
If I'm in a conversation and I don't say anything for a bit, I start wondering, do they think I'm bored or upset? It makes me want to just jump in and say something.
That's really common. And it raises an important question. Why do we often think silence is awkward or, a sign of weakness, when actually it can be the total opposite? When we say awkward, we just mean uncomfortable, maybe a bit strange feeling, right? But silence doesn't have to be that. When you're comfortable with silence, you're not rushing to prove yourself. You're actually listening more, observing. And then when you do speak, it's because you actually have something meaningful to say. And that gives your words, weight, real impact.
I know exactly what you mean. It's like you meet someone who doesn't talk constantly. They listen, they take things in, and then when they finally share a thought, everyone pays attention. That's not shyness. That feels like real confidence, doesn't it?
Precisely. And that confidence comes from, not needing that constant approval, that constant positive feedback or agreement from others. They don't feel the need to talk all the time, Their value isn't tied to how much they say. Constant just meaning like happening all the time without a break.
And I've noticed, too, when I deliberately choose to be quieter in a group, I actually see more. You start to pick up on who actually respects your presence versus who's just waiting for you to, entertain them or agree with them.
That's a keen observation. Silence gives you that different perspective. It lets you see the dynamics more clearly. And it reinforces that your value isn't just in explaining yourself all the time. Your value is just in who you are, being present. Silence really is confidence in action. It's powerful stuff.
Okay, this next point, this is where it gets really interesting for me personally. How silence can basically act like a shield for your energy. Because, let's face it, we only have so much energy, right? And it feels like it's always being drained.
Oh, absolutely. And what's fascinating here is how quickly some interactions can just leave you feeling completely wiped out. Think about those people we sometimes call energy drainers. You know the type. They mostly reach out when they want something, advice, maybe just attention, or often just someone to complain to.
Ugh, yes. I know exactly who you mean. After some of those calls or meetings, I feel totally hollowed out, like just
Yeah.
empty.
They exhaust you, and exhaust just means making you feel really, really tired, mentally and emotionally. Because constantly having to explain yourself or defend your choices, protect yourself from their criticism or justify why you feel a certain way, justify meaning like giving reasons to make something seem right, it's incredibly taxing. It drains your battery.
I remember this one situation. A friend would always ask why I wasn't free, and I'd get into these long explanations, defending my schedule. And honestly, after the call, I just felt completely drained, like I'd run a mental marathon defending my right to have my own time.
That's the exact kind of energy leak silence helps you plug. You really don't owe everyone a detailed report on your life choices. Sometimes, honestly, a simple no works. Or even just pulling back a bit, creating some quiet distance. That silence becomes your shield. A shield like something you use to protect yourself from harm.
So it's not about being mean or cutting people off necessarily.
Yeah.
It's more like quietly managing your own boundaries,
It's just
asserting your own value without a big fuss.
Exactly. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your energy, or your peace of mind for that matter. Deserve meaning. Like, are they truly worthy of that precious resource? Your peace is precious. And silence is a key way you protect it.
And speaking of protecting peace,
Oh.
drama, oh my goodness. I've noticed that the biggest thing that just destroys my peace is drama. You go pointless arguments, gossip flying around, unnecessary fights. They just suck the life out of it.
So true. And what's fascinating here when you look at the mechanics of drama is it basically only survives if you give it attention. It needs oxygen.
Wait, really? So if I just don't react, it just dies? It
Yeah.
sounds almost too easy.
It often is that simple, though maybe not always easy to do. But yeah, drama lives on reaction. If you argue back, if you feel you have to defend yourself constantly, if you explain over and over, you're essentially feeding the fire. You're keeping it alive. But when you stay silent, when you refuse to engage, the drama just starves. It's got nothing to feed on, so it fizzles out.
I actually had that happen once. Someone made a comment, kind of negative, aimed at me. And my first instinct was, right, get in there, explain, defend. But for some reason, I just stayed quiet. And you know what? The whole potential argument just, poof, ended before it even really started. It was kind of amazing.
That's it. That's the power. It feels so counterintuitive, right? Because we feel attacked, we want to defend ourselves. But real strength sometimes is knowing when not to engage. Choosing silence isn't weakness in those moments. It's actually demonstrating incredible control over yourself and over the situation.
Wow. So by staying silent, you're not actually losing the argument. You're winning something much bigger. You're winning back your time, your peace, your mental energy. It totally reframes what winning even means in those situations.
Absolutely. You're choosing peace over conflict.
I've noticed something similar happens with my own goals, my plans. Whenever I talk too much about what I plan to do, I'm going to start this or I'm going to achieve that, somehow I lose a bit of the drive,
Yeah.
the actual energy to do it. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. There's actually some interesting psychology there. What's fascinating is when you tell everyone your plans, a couple of things can happen. Sure, some people might encourage you, but others, they might criticize, doubt you, maybe even secretly hope you don't succeed. That negativity can definitely chip away at your motivation. Plus, sometimes just talking about the goal gives you a little hit of satisfaction, almost like you've already done something, which can strangely make you less motivated to do the actual work.
Ah, okay. So instead of announcing everything to the world, maybe getting that quick, pat on the back, it's better to just do the work and let the results speak for themselves. Talk less, move more. Is that the idea?
That's often a much more powerful approach. Keep your goals a bit closer, protect that initial energy and focus. Let your actions create the noise, not your words beforehand.
That really connects to personal growth too, I think. Sometimes when you really start focusing on yourself, making changes, people around you don't always love it. They might even say something like, wow, you've changed, but with the tone, almost like it's a bad thing.
That's a really insightful connection. If we look at the bigger picture, yeah, your growth can make others uncomfortable. It shifts the dynamic they're used to. But here's the thing. You're supposed to change. You're not meant to stay the same person forever. Outgrowing people or situations isn't being selfish. It's usually a sign that you're actually growing. It's healthy.
So basically, I don't know anyone the old me.
Right.
I'm allowed to protect the person I'm becoming, even if that feels a bit strange or difficult sometimes.
You absolutely are. Because, when you finally get to that place where you stop constantly explaining, stop rushing to defend every little thing, something really shifts inside you. And that shift, that feeling, that's peace. Real deep peace and true peace. It's quiet. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove itself with words. You just feel it. You can see it in how someone carries themselves, how they walk into a room, even just in their eyes. It's a presence.
Wow. Okay, so bringing this all together,
Yeah.
what does this really mean for you listening right now? We've kind of explored how silence isn't just empty space, right? It's actually full of clarity, strength.
Yeah.
It's the bedrock of real confidence. It's not about being cold or shutting people out. It's about finding a really authentic, powerful way to be present in your own life.
Exactly. We genuinely believe that embracing silence and really focusing on yourself intentionally, these aren't weaknesses. Not at all. They're incredibly powerful tools. Tools for building a life that feels more peaceful, more purposeful, more yours. You start acting from your own core, not just reacting to everything outside.
So, maybe a final thought for you to take away this week. Just consider, what does your silence communicate? Think about that deep internal peace we talked about. It is quiet, but often its presence speaks louder, clearer, and with more impact than any noise ever could. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive today. We really hope this gives you something to think about, maybe experiment with, regarding the power of quiet in your own life.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time, find your quiet strength.